Welcome to the CABE Competency Management System. CABE strives to provide members with the right guidance to support you along your professional journey. The CABE Competency Management System, also known as the CMS, exists to serve as your competency record, enabling the self-reflection necessary to truly conduct self-assessment throughout your career. It's a tool to help you plan meaningful CPD and to support your membership upgrade goals.
The CMS holds the CABE Competency Framework, CABE's Building Inspector Competency Framework, CABE's Membership Grades and Building Inspector Criteria, a library of learning resources, and your objective and development plans all in one place. It's been designed as a dashboard for straightforward navigation. Once you have familiarised yourself with the content of each tile on the dashboard, you can easily save, refer back, and update content as you advance in competency. Let's go through the tiles in simple steps. When you log in for the first time, please read the terms of use and click Accept to proceed to the home page. Welcome to the CMS dashboard. Here you can see the tiles that navigate to the different functions of the system. If this is your first time accessing the CMS, begin by clicking on the Competency Frameworks tile. This shows both the CABE Competency Framework and the CABE Building Inspector Competency Framework, otherwise known as the CABE BICOF. If you are a new user to the CMS, it will give you the option of which framework to work with. Select the CABE 2023 Framework option here for the main framework and membership grades, or the CABE BICOF option here for building control specific competencies and building inspector registration classes. Click into your chosen CABE Competency Framework. This next screen shows you the content of the framework, which is useful as an overview. Now you can see the framework grid. The framework is split into 5 categories, shown here in grey. Each category then contains the competencies you are assessing yourself against. Hover over them for a summary of the competence and any supporting annexes. The supporting annexes are also available by clicking here. The grid provides a useful overview. Each competence has a 0 to 4 grading system, with descriptors explaining the scale of understanding required from none at 0 through to complex understanding and application at 4. This is mirrored in the scope and evidence within each competence, as they increase in involvement, complexity, and responsibility. See these by hovering over the grid square. For example, using this top competence called Knowledge and Understanding of Technologies and Techniques, move across to Grid 1, which is Awareness, and you will see the required scope and evidence to meet the competence at that grade.
After referring to the first tile, navigate back to the dashboard via the Home button at the top as shown. Now, the real self-assessment begins here, within the Assess Competencies tile. This brings up the competencies grid with the descriptors and the scope again, but this time you can interact with the grid and begin mapping out your self-determined level of understanding on the grading system. You can click or hover on the competency grading to view the scope, which gives more detail on what is included within the competence, and a suggested list of evidence which you might wish to use to demonstrate how you meet it. Plot your position with the star by clicking on the grid, as shown here. This position is not fixed and can be moved at any time. As you can see, there is a pop-out box. Use this to note down your own comments or evidence. These notes save alongside your stars, helping you keep track of how you feel you met this competence at that grade. So, going back to using the Knowledge and Understanding of Technologies and Techniques competence as an example, you can plot yourself on the grid with your star as a 2, and add in your comments here giving some context.
If at any point while using the CMS you need guidance, look to the top right-hand corner of your screen where there is a blue question mark, as seen here. Click to bring up further advice. You should also refer to the right-hand Actions box where it says Competency Profile. This is where the CMS has used the data entered into this tile to generate a PDF of your personal profile. You can download this PDF at any time. This PDF could be useful for interactions regarding career progression and/or goal setting with your employer. Be aware that it will show any of the notes you may have entered into the system. If you have selected to use the CABE Bikoff throughout this assessment process, it works in the same way, with the same features. Simply scroll down and click into that framework instead to begin plotting your stars and noting down your evidence. Let's navigate to the next tile.
The membership grade tile is for your reference. It allows you to see each CABE membership grade from Technician to Fellow and the Building Inspector classes from 1 to 4. Clicking on each grade shows you the competence criteria for each and then displays your self-assessed competency level, so your stars, plotted against the required competency level for attaining that grade of membership, indicated by the green box seen here. This tile serves as an excellent aid to visualising your future goals. Again, the CMS allows you to download this information as a PDF, so that you have a tangible, transferable report of your status.
Now that you have assessed yourself against the competency framework and compared your current standing against the various CABE membership grades, you should click into the Competency Objectives tile and start setting your goals. The tile will display a clear visual of all your assessment information, so that's your assessed level as indicated by the star and the required competency level as indicated by the green box. To start, use the drop-down focus item here. This allows you to select either the CABE membership grade you are targeting, or if you are using the Bikoff, the class of building inspector registration you are aiming for and which membership grade that equates to. Key to this grid is the green pin selector you can see here, sitting alongside each competence. Use this pin for any competence you would like to set as a goal. This might be an area you wish to focus on or an area you can see you need to develop in.
It is important to be realistic here. Think of these objectives being set for a year. How many can you feasibly work on in that time? Which objectives should take priority? Consider setting a few and coming back to update them in a year's time and adding more at that point. Click on each pin to enter your objective, a realistic completion date, and any accompanying notes to help you. Your goals should aim to close any acknowledged gaps in your skill set and keep your knowledge up to date. So, going back to the knowledge and understanding of technologies and techniques competence, for example, you can note down a date 8 months from now and add in any notes about how you can achieve this, or any further information that will be useful to you.
Looking once more at the right-hand Actions box, you will see this has another download available. Please note, you may need to refresh your page once you have set an objective in order to generate the PDF for this particular download. See where it says Download your Competency Objectives Report. This details the objectives you've set for yourself and can be used in conjunction with any goal-setting conversations you might have with your employer. Again, if you selected to use the CABE Bikoff throughout this assessment process, it works in the same way, with the same features and functionality. This time, when looking at the Actions box, you will also see a link saying Manage Your Development Plan, which is a shortcut to the next tile in the process. This will be covered in the next chapter of this video.
Setting competency objectives keeps your progression at the front of your mind and ensures a record of your achievements is maintained. These objectives form the roots for CPD planning, a crucial aspect to meaningful development and to a membership of CABE. The perfect partner to your objectives is a development plan. The CMS's development plan feature brings up your objectives alongside the applicable competence detail, whilst displaying the level you have assessed yourself against in this yellow box here. You will also see this button saying Learning Items. Click this to bring up an automatic list of suggestions for resources that apply to the competence. These resources have been mapped by CABE as meeting some of the scope or evidence items for that competence at that level. CABE will be continuing to grow this library of training, webinars and research items over time. These resources can be added to your development plan to help you meet that objective. Take your time to read through the resources suggested to find any that you feel meet your development needs. Clicking on this drop-down arrow here will show you more details about the resource, an overview of what it covers, its length, its provider, and a link to access the content. Once you find a learning resource that meets your need, click Add to Development Plan. You will see that it will turn green, as does the Learning Items button, which also starts a running total of the number of resources selected.
Clicking on the separate Development Plan tab seen here will bring up your chosen learning items and pull in some of the specifics from the applicable objective, such as the due date you've given it. Once again, you can refer to the right-hand Actions box. It allows you to download your development plan and contains a handy shortcut link to take you back into the Competency Objectives tile if you realise you want to make some changes. It's important to note that the learning items are only suggestions of what you could use to develop your competency. It is up to you to judge their suitability for you personally, and remember to look for other resources outside of the CMS. The Learning Resources tile allows you to refer to the whole library of suggested resources within the CMS. The green figures listed are the total number of resources available that have been mapped to date to help develop that particular competence along the grading system. You can't add the learning items to your development plan from here. To do that, you would need to go back into the Development Plan tile. The Learning Resources library is a work in progress and will continue to be developed over time to ensure you have a range of possible options to help you build your plan.
Finally, you can see here the My Organisation tile. If your organisation has been supplied with a token, this tile is applicable to you, and guidance is provided separately. The CMS is a member benefit, crafted with the support of your professional development in mind. If well maintained, this record will remain a solid basis for self-assessment, funneling into your CPD planning and employment goal setting. If you need any further guidance on using the CMS, please email the Training and Learning team at training@cbuilde.com.